Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again in the basement after dark. Just put the kids down. Wasn't going to plan on making a video. So I took off my makeup, put on my glasses, and I'm down here doing a little bit of work, and I figured I might make a video because it might help some people. So I'm going to upgrade the lighting here slightly. And I say slightly because this is a very cheap investment. I'm talking about like a $50 investment, but I think it will make a big difference. Now, overall, if you can get an electrician to come in to hardwire stuff, that's probably the better route to go. Things will be a lot cleaner and look better and less cable management, whatever. But this is going to be a cheap, easy solution that most people want to go to. And that is I'm going to be using some of these LED lights that I had in not only the old basement, but also the garage as well. And the reason I'm going to use these is because number one, they're cheap. So $42 for 6 of these things, and they're pretty long as you can see. And I have a couple options in terms of how you can install them. They come with plugs, which is great, and little switches that you can turn on and off, which is also pretty great. But you can also connect these in a couple of ways. So you can either use this 20-inch or so cable to connect them that gives you some space between if you have a really large space or you want to get creative with how you show them. Or they have these little white things, which might be hard to see, which you can actually connect them directly together. So I think you can connect up to 6 or the entire box if you really want. That's what I did in the original basement. In the garage, I actually had these cables used to kind of get more coverage overall. And because you can plug them in, I think that's really beneficial because you can literally put these anywhere. Now, for me personally, the reason I want to do this is even though the lighting in the basement is decent, especially when I'm over here by the rack like I am now. So actually, there's the rep rack. There's the rogue rack. I should start a new show like Zach Galifianakis between 2 racks. But the lighting here is decent for the most part. But as I come to the other part of the gym, which is a lot bigger than I had initially planned when we started building this house, I start going into the dark and the shadows. You see the glare of the TV off of my glasses.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
And there is some light over here too, but it's not the same level of light. And that's because, again, initially when we built this house, my plan was just to have the gym over there, but plans change and a bigger gym is a better gym, isn't it? So over here in the main gym, we have these long LED lights, which are similar to the ones that I'll be installing almost, but they put off a lot of great light. Over there on the other side, just normal bulbs. Not the best, but again, the plan wasn't to have the gym over there, so I wasn't as concerned with the lighting. But also one of the issues for me has been the HVAC system, which has to heat this big old house that I live in. So you have these big ducts that kind of separate the 2 spaces, but it also kills the light. So obviously when I'm walking through over here, I'm under the duct, and that's when it gets dark. You can see it right above my head. So that's what I'm going to be aiming to fix. And again, this is a cheap solution, about $50 all in. And one of the other things that I bought were these light adapters right here, because what I'll be able to do, if this wants to focus, it doesn't, that's okay. What this is going to do is going to be allow me to actually plug these in right up by the lights. So it's going to be easier to keep the cables out of the way. Now, obviously, of course, could come over and there's plenty of outlets down here that I could potentially plug this stuff into. But I think I'm just going to mount it more towards the ceiling. That way I have a much cleaner look overall. At least I think that's the case. But again, it's a $50 investment. So even if I hate it, I can always take it down. But it comes with all the mounting hardware as well. So my plan is to have those plugs up there from the light and kind of run some of the lights along these beams over to this area to get it brighter. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that process. And if you're interested, you can go ahead and follow along and watch the rest of the video. If you're not interested, you've already invested a couple of minutes. Might as well stick around for the end. I will say this isn't the only solution. I know a lot of people, myself included, have gotten the screw-in LED lights, which I'll show a picture of right here, which work really well, but I find that those are extremely bright and they're more of in a concentrated area. Now, some of them are bendable and you can kind of point the light in certain directions, but I find that the strip lighting actually works better, keeps the room brighter overall and more balanced. So that's the route I'm going to be going for this particular video. All right, so I'm now what was the darker side, but is now the brighter side. I ended up hanging up all 6 of these lights. My plan was only to do 4, but I figure that when I finish off this side of the basement, which doesn't have any stall mats or anything like that because they're not in stock anywhere. My plan is to finish this off with stall mats and actually move some of the equipment on this side to give me some more room. But as you can tell from the lighting, this is now the brighter side, and back there where the racks are the darker side. So this worked out so well. Again, I've done this in the past, but not in this space, so I didn't want to overinvest initially. And again, $50 for this setup, fantastic. But I think what I'm going to do, you can kind of see how I ran the lights. So I actually ran it kind of pointing to the side versus pointing straight down. That way the light isn't as harsh. And because I mounted them there, I didn't want them too much glare off the TV. Now, with the camera, it's going to look like there's a lot of glare, but there's actually not bad at all. And the nice thing is I have these little switches up top, so I can turn off those lights if I want to mute it at all. But I think it looks really good down here. So I have 1, 2, 3, and this goes actually over the HVAC system. And the nice thing about the LEDs is they don't get hot, so you don't have to worry about it like a traditional light bulb. And I think more than likely what I'm going to do is get a couple more of these and extend them over here to brighten up this side of the area. So on both sides. So on this side, as you can see, there's 3 again. Probably gonna be blown out a little bit. I can change the ISO, but again, it's just gonna be a little bit tough to see. So 3 lights there, 1, 2, 3 that go over the HVAC. And again, maybe extend some out over here to brighten up this area and maybe shine some lights on these dumbbells too. So overall, for $50, this is a fantastic, easy way to upgrade your gym lighting and have it away from everything. And again, the way I have them right now are plugged into the actual lights. So actually, let me come over here. And again, I'm not going to try to mess with the settings too much so you guys get a good idea. I'm coming over here towards where one of the light switches is, whereas there's not a lot of light. Again, just a single bulb up here. But in the background, you can see when I flip the lights, they all go off. I'm still here. You can see my lav mic light right there. Turn the lights on, and they come on with all the other lights. So that's really nice and really easy. And again, the cable management isn't bad. I'll show you that again because I didn't talk about that really quick. All I did was kind of bundle these things together, and I just put these little hooks in to kind of keep the cables from hanging down too much. So it looks fairly clean. That one I probably got to clean up a little bit more. Just to make it a little bit more tight, because who doesn't like something that's thick, solid, and tight? But again, $50, minimal effort, minimal investment. Don't have to have an electrician come out here. And as you can tell right here, the lighting is just so much better. I just apologize for my face. If you have any questions about this, leave them in the comment section below. I'll link these lights and the other ones I mentioned earlier in the description box. But in the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big.